Good day and welcome to another edition of Outsider Genie, where we will be looking at the race meeting today at the Vaal, the 29th of December, 2 days away from end of the year. What a year. And unfortunately, this year is not starting too good with we're back to lockdown free, as you all know. I'm not sure whether it's going to affect the racing because when I listened last night, it wasn't clear to me, what was going to be if racing is going to go on or what the sport. But we will wait and see to hear what happens. In the meantime, let's hope they still race at the Vaal today. And here is my selections and betting. Before we look at that, for those persons who are seeing this video for the first time, what Outsider Genie do is Outsider Genie is not a tipping service. We do a form analysis and we then give you outsider selections which you can add into with your selections. And when you play those selections, in those outsider selections do arrive, you will be standing in a power queue collecting your money, laughing and thanking Outsider Genie. If you want to get notification from YouTube every day that we post our free daily preview video, you just click subscribe now, ring the bell, and you will be notified every time that we post a video. We are also on social media. Our contact details 083 585 5133. So let's look at the brag file again, guys. You know, I'm blessed that I'm able to give people winning selections. Yesterday at the Fairview, I gave people 6 winning selections from 8 races. Race 2, our outsider selection or outright selection. Now, I just want to clarify the difference between outright and outsider. Our outright selection is the horse that I think will win the race. That is my first choice. Then I give outsider selections. I give 2 outsider selections per race in no particular order. And either, obviously, the horse can win or place. So in race 3, my other outsider selection on number 5, Cold Fusion, also came in. Race 4, my outright selection and best bet of the day, Jager Moon, did arrive. Very close finish. Was some nice racing yesterday. Then my outsider selection in race 5, Princess of Fire, came home at 10 to 1. In my video, I said I do like that Princess of Fire because I think it's a nice filly. In race 6, my outsider selection, another outsider, but the horse was back in, I think it was 4 to 1 or 6 to 1. I think it was 6 to 1 in the morning, but it was back into 4 to 1. Maybe a few doubles running with Jagan Moon, 4 to 1. And then race 8, I did say number 1, Bold Dreamer, down in class. And he got up with the bob of the nose in the last race, but the number was up and that one won a 13 to 2. We also give you a PA and pick 6 selections. Not a lot of profit, but I mean, a profit is a profit. And then I also gave you 2 nice all to come doubles. The first one, race 2, number 4, and race 3, number 5. That came in at 31 to 4. And then race 2, number 4, and race 4, number 6, that one at 19 to 4. Now, if you would like to subscribe to Outsiders Genie, our normal fee is 500 Rand a month, but we are now offering you a special till the end of the 31st of December for 400 Rand for the month. And please note, during the Cape Summer season on Major Races Day, the preview video for Kenilworth will only be available to members subscribing to our daily services. Then if you subscribe to Genie, you will get race by race selection, 2 daily recommended all to come doubles, and you can see now they do win. Value bets, best bet of the days, and now sometimes we give you a best bets like a while ago, as I said before, we gave you a best bet sweet sensation. The horse opened up at 7 to 2 and it jumped at 11 to 1. I couldn't believe my eyes. But the best bet is a best bet. And then also trifectas and quartets, which often do come in, and sometimes they got really nice payouts. And then I give you affordable PA and affordable pick 6, which you can play as is, or you can add your own selections and play as you see fit. If you do subscribe, you will be receiving your selections via a paid WhatsApp group, which we will get as a page like this, your race by race selections, pick 6 PA, your quartet trifectas, your best bets, value bets, and your all to come doubles. So let's now move on to race to the Vaal race meeting for the day, which kicks off with a work riders maiden plate over 1600 meters. Just before I carry on, what I do is I give you 3 selections per race because I want to keep the video as short as possible. But some people want me to give more information per race, more analysis. But I'm trying to keep the video at maximum half an hour because people don't have more time to watch. So we kick off with race number 1 over the 1600 meters. Let's have a look at the betting. Here the betting is as follows. Trattoria, number 1. 2-1, Differentiate, 5-2. Maobi, 4-1. Rose Villa, 8-1. Pinot, 10-1. Divine Isadora, 14-1. I don't know if you guys know, but they used to race a horse a long time ago, also with the name Divine Isadora, and if I'm not mistaken, it was trained by Mr. Lerena, if I'm not mistaken. Sir Max, 16-1. Destiny Rule, 16-1. Fate of the Fear is 20-1, 25-1. Everything. Way to Dream and scratch number 6, Joanna S. So my selection here for number 1 is a combination which have won a lot of races, work riders races, and that's number 1, Trattoria. Joe Gingwichi has won a lot of races for Sean Terry. And it do seems to me that the 1600 meters will suit this horse. I think last time out over the 1160 was outpaced, but that place before that over the 1400 meters. And therefore, my observation is that number 1 tutorial will probably like the 1600 meters. Then my outsider selections is as follows, and then I'll just look at 1 or 2 of the other horses. Rose Willow. I did gave last to Rose Willow last time out 28-1 as an outsider selection, and again today, although it was 11 lengths behind Legal Star, Legal Star and the horse that ran second, which I can't remember the name. They did draw away from the field, but Rose Willow was the best. And I did say that I think Rose Willow would like the 1600 meters, and I'm sticking to my guns on that. And I do think Rose Willow today will definitely be involved in the finish. And my other outsider selection is number 8, which is Suntrax. Now, Suntrax, I'm not, although it has run second over the 1600 meters behind Nubel, but the reason why I'm selecting is because of the jockey. Samuel Shearer is an ex-champion, has won the series before, a very good jockey. And since this horse has been placed over the Vaal 1600 meters, I do feel that Suntrax can be involved in the finish. Suntrax currently being 16-1 in the betting. So add that into your play. Then I just want to move back up here to number 2, which is also second favorite. Number 2, Differentiate. I do think that the 1600 meters will be too far for this horse. Although this horse has been running on well lately, you can see there fastest 400, fastest 400. But it has been tried over the 1400 meters before behind Franklin, and it faded out. Nothing left. So I think maybe this horse might be better over 1400 meters, but probably can get away with it in being this a work riders race, but not a very confident selection for me. Then riveting, Karen Fisher. She always tries her heart out, and this is just the type of horse that might place at 25-1. I think it is do include into your quartet selections. In number 4, Moby, I did like strongly last time out. I really fancied it, but it didn't run a good race, 12 lengths behind Magical Flight, hung in. But again today, a little bit less stronger field, and also might be involved in the finish. So let's move on to race number 2, which is a allowance, all to come progress plate, Class A, average merit rating 102. And here the betting is as follows. Winter Smoke in 18 to 10, Rius Winter 2 to 1, Portico 5 to 1, Winter Stories 5 to 1, Vars Vicky 11 to 2, Spirit of the Groove 12 to 1, and Talani 14 to 1. Since this is a progress plate, you would want to go with the horses that are the best weighted, and they are number 2, Rius Winter, Winter Smoke, Portico, Spring of the Groove, and Winter Stories. My selection being number 2, Rius Winter. Last week I did give you guys Rius Winter, and I was very strong on Rius Winter, and the horse was backing from 10 to 1 to 9 to 2. Good luck to those who took my advice, because if I'm not mistaken, I gave it as my best bet of the day, or at least I'm also or a value bet. I can't remember now. I might have the form here somewhere. I can check it up. But I do the way that Rius Winter won was so. I mean, was the horse was the horse jumped, and then it was a little bit outpaced, but Kumalo just kept on working on it, and eventually he got the horse in the race, and the horse got up in the last few strides to win against a strong favorite. So number 2 is my selection, but don't discard number 1. Number 1, Winter Smoke, is also a good horse, but on the handicap, uh, and let me just teach you a little bit about handicapping today. If you don't understand it, let me quickly explain to you. On the way, at this time of the year, the 3-year-olds is at the disadvantage of 4. There should be a 4 kilograms, so that is 8 merit points. Okay, so if you take Winter Smoke is now 109, so you need to take off 8 points. So now it's a merit rated of 101, carrying the same weight as Rius Winter, who is 108. So on handicapping terms, number 2, Rius Winter, must beat Winter Smoke. I do know, number 1, that races are not run on paper, and 2, 3-year-olds can still improve where a 4-year-old, can improve, but not maybe at the speed of a 3-year-old. But I'm going on handicapping because that's what I do. When I do my form analysis, I work on handicapping. That is what a form analysis do. So based on that, I have to select number 2, Rius Winter, to win this race. Then for my outsider selection, I'm going to have number 7, Vars Vicky. Okay, now Vars Vicky is the same boat, so you need to take off the eight points, and that is then leaving her at 87, carrying a half kilogram less. So Vars Vicky way out in the weights. But the thing for me is that we're sitting here with 3-year-old, and what I just said can still improve. So I'm looking for Vars Vicky to run a huge race, but based on the weights, she's going to find it very difficult to beat numbers 1 and 2, but can placed, and that is what I'm basing my thing on. And here we have number 5, Winter Story, another 3-year-old, also at 105. You take off 8 kilograms, so he's also in a 97, and yeah, so obviously will also be out on the weights against number 2, Rius Winter. Because if you have a look here, the weight difference here is 62 and 59. It's about a half kilogram. And surely Rius Winter is a huge advantage against the 3-year-olds in this race. Therefore, my strong selection to win this race. As I said, on handicapping terms, but I can be wrong. Maybe Winter Smoke can improve. We'll have to see. It's going to be a very interesting race. All right, so let's then move on to race number 4, or race number 3, which is a maiden plate over 1,200 meters. And here the betting is as follows. Here we have number 16, Future Lady, 12 to 10, Invincible Warrior, 9 to 2, Blue Spark, 5 to 1, Jet Cat, 6 to 1, Racing Man, 20 to 1, and Longer the rest. Guys, here we have 2 sides of the coin. Here at the bottom, we have the horse that has ran one race, and really, even on that day, I said I do like the breeding of number 16, and I proved right, and the horse ran second behind the stable companion. And um, I think will be too strong in this race, as we have a few hard knockers here. Horses that had many chances. I think it will be too short for Blue Spark. Blue Spark, one of those horses, keep on running second. I don't know when he'll be able to break his maiden, but I doubt if it will be today, but I might be wrong. Then we have, a 3-year-old, but hasn't shown a lot, the Orange Horse. My outsider selections is number 3 and 4, but, I'm not going to even bother to put him in the pick six. I'm banking number 16 because I do think the horse that might beat her is number 9, Invincible Warrior. And should Invincible Warrior win and Future ran second, Future later ran second, you'll still be in the pick six. So let's move on to race number 4, which is a 72 handicap Class D, average merit rate at 66. And I would think this race and the last race, one of the most difficult races on the card. In my pick six, I've included 10 runners from this race. Grindelwald 4-1, Soul Connection 9-2, Forever Light 6-1, 7-1 Procrastinator, 7-1 Mr. Hugo, Eastbrook 7-1, 10-1 Olivia is Informator 14-1, 14-1 Duet, 18-1 Look to the Sky, 20-1 and Better the Rest. As I said, a very open race here, race 4. My selection is number 11, which is Olivia is the 7-year-old me. This horse comes from trained by Dennis Kaysen, and for you who don't know that, Dennis Kaysen is training from his facility just outside Belcom. I used to be a teacher there many, many, many moons ago. But the horse is carrying 53 minus 1.5. Last time out was a similar race. Just got run out of it by Flower of Scotland, but ran a decent race. And I think if Olivia is today can repeat that run, will definitely be involved in the finish. In my outsider selections is number 4, which is Look to the Sky. I did tip Look to the Sky last time out, and it showed a lot of pace, just ran out of it. But Jason Gates, he is a kind of jockey that can win on horses like this, and I think Look to the Sky might be the better for that run. So definitely a horse that you want to include into your play. And then here we have number 5, Informative. Also a horse that has run against some strong opposition in the past. Whirly, Lord Gantam, with Muzi Yeni on board, can definitely feature in the finish. But as I say, a very open race, a lot of horses with chances. Number 1, Procrastinator, way down in class from previous runs. You can see here A divisions, B division, now finding itself in the C division. Kumala on board, definitely a horse that you want to include in audio play because this horse can definitely also be involved in the finish. For me, it was between number 1 and number 11 to win this race, but just the difference in weight swing my selection to number 11, Olivia Oz. Here's Soul Connection, also a horse that running places all the time, and today can be no different. Will probably also be involved in the finish. And then here's Fani Broncos with Forever Light. Also have a chance, has been running places. Last time out, I don't know what went wrong there. They lost 3 lengths, oh yes, and then went to the front, so the jockey and it maybe pulled it to the front or something like that. But Fani Broncos is going to break his maiden one of these days. So all in all, race 4, a very, very open race. Lots of horses with chances. Put into your pick six as many as you can afford. Then we move on to race number 5, which is a Fillies and Mares, handicap 86 and with 1,000 meters. Class C, average merit rate at 79. Here we have number 2, Muleta 16-10, Impressive Duchess 15-4, Ariana 9-2, Mind Reader 11-2, True Charm 6-1, ML Tiara 12-1, See You Tiger 16-1, 25-1, and longer the rest. Now here my first selection is number 1, True Charm. If you have a look here, you'll see here Class C 79. True Charms has run against 101's 008 103 Celtic Sea, just 10 lengths behind Celtic Sea. Sing for Rafa. If you put those horses in this field, they probably win by 10 or more lengths. And went off form, or was just running against stronger fields. And then last time ran against a stablemate, ran a decentable third. And I think today True Charm might be finding a feed, and in this class will definitely be a huge factor. My outsider selections is number 3, which is sorry, it's number 4. We are now race 4. Yeah, Impressive Duchess, the stable companion. I think that can also go in again. And number 5, Ariana, also in with a chance, is getting the -4, and that would certainly be to his advantage. But also again, number 2, Violetta. I've been following this horse. I was my selections in both the last 2 wins. My outright selection, Musieni. I think this horse is going to places. If you run 5 races and you won 3, you can't be a donkey. So also again a very interesting race. My selections 1, 2, and 4 to be involved in the finish here. Then we move on to race number 6, which is a Fully Mares 80 handicap over 1800 meters, class C, average merit rating 74. And here the betting is as follows. Number 9, Sparkling Water 70 to 10. B Hope 9 to 2, Franklin 5 to 1, 5 to 1, Rocky, Pretty Border 10 to 1, 12 to 1, and longer the rest. Here my first selection is number 1, Franklin. And number 1, Franklin has been running well, and has been running in this division, has then run 2 seconds, good seconds now, although last time out was comprehensively beaten by Firepower. But Firepower was receiving 6 kilograms, and I do feel Franklin today can go in. My outsider selections in this race 6 is number 3, which is Rock You. Rock You did run in some higher divisions last time out. Now back in a lower division, and with Larina on board, can definitely be involved in the finish, as is number 4, Pretty Border, who's constantly running 2, 3 lengths behind. Always find some moves to beat us now, 537 days. But has run against some very strong opposition before and wasn't disgraced. So definitely Pretty Border, a horse that can win at any time. Here we have the 3-year-old Bebop. Did Philly won her last race by 1.75, but I do feel that this is a stronger field, and I do think it's going to find it hard to follow up in this race. We also have another horse called Sparkling Water, also a horse that debuted well and won well, but one will have to wait and see if this horse is going to follow up. What's strange for me, Larina did win with it last time out. Now they've got Zaki on, and Larina's riding Rock You for Odelarcus. I'm not sure what was why is that. Then a nice horse that I think a horse that you can put in the back end of your cortege is Pucker Up. This mare, now and then she puts in a good effort and can be placed at long odds include. So let's move on to race number 7. Race number 7 is a merit rated 96 handicap over 1400 meters, class B, average merit rated 91. Here we have against the grain 2 to 1, early 33 to 10, Golden Peasant 5 to 1, Conchaton 5 to 1, Bellatorio 8 to 1, Ivalos Prince 8 to 1, the Arrivi 10 to 1, 13 to 1, and longer the rest. Now, I've been following Wordy for a while now, but my first selection in this race today is number 2, the Arrivi. Now, if you have a look at the class B 91. If you see what this horse has run against, Green Haze 108, 102, 104, has been running against much stronger opposition that she's meeting. Has also come down a little bit in the merit rating, and I do feel today that this horse, the Revie, is going to run a very huge race today here over at the Val, because it is down in class, definitely in with a chance. My outsider selections is number 8 and 9. Let's have a look there. Number 8, Valeterio, is a horse that I am following. He did come back from a long break, then ran a third, and then now ran a fourth. But now they're putting it over the distance, and I feel this horse is going to be effective. He does run on well at the end, and I do feel that the 1400 meters is definitely going to suit him today, and definitely a horse that you need to include. And here's number 9, Ivalo Prince. Ivalo Prince for me is a horse that can improve, and carrying a low weight of 52, led run also in a stronger race behind 101 behind Express from the US, and now also dropping down a little bit in class. And I think this horse can also follow up and be involved in a finish. Then we move down to race number 8, also a very open race, merit rated 72 handicap, Class D, average merit rated 66. Let's have a look at the betting. Here the betting is as follows. Number 1, Tide 5, 5 to 1, Birdwatcher 6 to 1, Louvain 6 to 1, 6 to 1, Snow into Attle, 8 to 1, Brown for 1, 17 to 2, Fresh from the USA, 10 to 1, and better the rest. Here, my first selection is number 4, Louvain. Louvain did run a forward race last time behind Desert Pride. Slow ran on 24.1 fastest 400 to finish. And I do feel that this horse from the Cornet stable are ready to win a fourth race. Has won before at the Val, but over a shorter distance. But I'm sure the 1400 meters will not be a problem. And I'm looking for number 4, Louvain, the horse to beat. My outsider selections in this race, number 2, also 6 to 1, Birdwatcher, that ran a very good race just after the maiden, and I'm sure he's ready to follow up. And then my other outsider selection is number 7, Fresh from the US, also a horse that has won in maiden 3 runs ago, beating Brooklyn Breach. And I do feel that this horse, now having a third run after the maiden, can also improve to be involved in a finish. So race 8, also a very open race. We can afford to put the field in your pick 6. And that brings us to the end of our preview. I hope that I could have pointed you in the right direction for a few winners. And as I always say, break a leg.